Hello and welcome. So, the title of this live, How to Be Okay. Excuse me while I turn the volume all the way up. The title of this live, How to Be Okay When You're Not, when you're in a less than ideal situation and you're feeling less than ideal. Something that I teach as part of my programs and my courses is emotional mastery. And what that really means is giving yourself permission to feel whatever you're feeling. Whether it starts in childhood or it's nature versus nurture, whatever it might be. We all have these beliefs that what we're feeling is not right. It happens, right? And some of us can live in this uh, belief system our entire lives. And some of us are awakening to the fact that we are not our emotions. We are not our feelings. What we feel, the emotions that move through us are just that. They move through us. They are not us. And so without getting too deep into science or quantum physics, emotions are energy. Everything is energy. Literally, we are energy. Everything can be read in a code, just like we can read a computer system can read ones and zeros as a code, just like we can read our DNA, our physical DNA as a code. So too is everything, literally, right? This is science. And that's what emotions are. That's what feelings are. They are frequencies that move in the conscious field. They move in the unconscious field, and they are all around us. And so I like to think of emotions, feelings as like the weather. We are all exposed to it. And depending on how prepared you are, depending on where you are in the world, depending on where you are in your own alignment with yourself, meaning the way that your heart speaks to your mind, depends on the exposure that you have to these emotions, these feelings. So knowing that emotions are a specific frequency. So let's take anger, for example. Anger vibrates at a very specific frequency, and it's moving out in the world. Happiness, joy, resentment, so many different emotions that can come up, overwhelm, feeling lack, feeling abundance, all of these emotions that we can feel, they're literally just a frequency. They're a vibration that's moving through our atmosphere. And depending on your own alignment with yourself, and depending on your heart and your mind's coherence with one another, will depend on the frequency that you decide to pick up. And what's really cool about this is that biologically, the way that we as humans are designed, we are meant to express an emotion or a feeling for about 15 minutes. Hello, whoever you are joining me live. And then that feeling dissipates, no matter what it is. Higher vibration, joy, excitement, right? Ecstatic, happiness, whatever it might be. And the higher side, we're meant to experience it for about 15 minutes. It depends on which scientist and biologist you're speaking to, but roughly 15 minutes, give or take a few seconds. And including on the lower vibrational side, grief, anger, frustration, overwhelm, overthinking, fear. Our bodies as humans, hey, Erica, are designed to feel those emotions for about 15 minutes and then naturally dissipate. This is just the way that we are engineered biologically. Well, what happens let's take the lower end vibration. Let's take fear, for example. Fear is moving out of the atmosphere. It's moving through the conscious field. And if you're in a lower vibrational frequency yourself, or your heart and your mind are not speaking to one another, what will happen is you are open to, you're vulnerable to the weather of the lower frequency. And so you will absorb it, you will take it in, and you will experience it. And in 15 minutes, if you are still in that frequency and you've fed the fear, you've told yourself over and over and over again why you should be fearful, then that feeling gets bigger and it gets grander and it gets bolder. And you'll start to look for all sorts of reasons as to why you should be in fear. And then something else will happen, right? Someone will cut you off in traffic. You'll get a bill in the mail that you didn't anticipate. And that next 15 minutes will then be perpetuated and perpetuated. And some people live their lives in these lower frequency fields over and over and over again, unaware that what they're doing is they're just picking it up out in the conscious field. It's not who you are. You are not your emotions. You are not your feelings. But it can feel like that when you're in it and when you're consistently feeling on the lower end of vibrational consciousness. And the same is true on the other side. So if you tend to be really happy and you tend to be focused and driven in a really healthy kind of way, then what will happen is you will see more of that. You will then have more of the consciousness, the vibrational energetic field of specifically, let's talk about overwhelm and excitement for just a moment. The frequency in which overwhelm vibrates. Again, it's a sequence of numbers. It's a code that says this is overwhelm. And if you are open to it, you will pick that up. It's very, very close to the same frequency as excitement. They're so close to one another. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, you can take a breath. And here's really where I'm going with the title of this live: how to be okay when you're really not okay. You let yourself be not okay. You let yourself be human and feel the emotions that are coming up. So if you're feeling overwhelmed in this example, one of the things that I teach my clients in the very first week is you give yourself those 15 minutes to feel overwhelmed. You literally can go set an alarm. You can use an insight timer and you just be in it. You don't feed the overwhelm. You don't remind yourself over and over again of like what you should be doing in this moment because now your to-do list is going to be even bigger. No, you just let yourself feel overwhelmed. It's permission to be fucking human. Let yourself be human. Let yourself feel those emotions. And like magic, AKA science, I say that from my magical unicorn that's here with me, Erica. It's magic and science together. This is biology. This is the beauty of being human. That overwhelmed feeling will naturally dissipate in 15 minutes. And then your superpower as a human is to choose the next emotion. And this is something that I give my clients on the very first week with working with them. If they're feeling the same kind of emotion over and over again, I give them the frequency that's very close to it that you can then choose, because it's much easier to go from overwhelmed to excitement like that in your 15 minutes time than it is to go from overwhelmed to feeling peace, for example, because peace vibrates at a different kind of frequency, a different vibrational field than excitement. And then you allow yourself to feel excitement. So many people, when they begin working with me, have been living in these lower energetic frequencies and hustling and scraping and feeling like if they just do one more thing, if they just hire one more coach, if they just go to one more retreat, if they just, one more self-help book, whatever, like all of these things that we do, if we just spend more time in the gym or we just clean up our diets, only to find themselves right back to square one on the hamster wheel of continuously moving through the motions over and over and over again. So how do you be okay when you're really not okay? You give yourself permission to literally be human and to feel what you're feeling without trying to override it, without trying to get to the next thing, without trying to feel really good when you don't. Because you can't fake vibration, right? You can't come and pretend to be okay in your career or in your relationship or in your body. And something that comes up a lot is like when I speak about nutritional coaching, for example, align with your nutritional coach. Make sure that you are in harmony with yourself, and then your nutritional coach is in harmony with themselves as well, and that you move at a frequency together as well. Because otherwise what will happen is as you are giving yourself the foods at the time that you're saying, like, you eat like this cup of carrots with this thing of broccoli, whatever, as you're doing that, every single cell in your body is moving backwards and reminding itself that it can't trust itself, because you have to look for someone on the outside of you to tell you what to eat and when to eat it. As an analogy, for example. And just being in total honesty also, I'm going through something in my own life right now where I have this duality of emotions, where I have allowed myself to come back to my humanness and allowed myself to feel everything on the lower end of vibration, on the lower end of the energy, that the emotions that are moving through the consciousness, and that I am picking up, and that I have been holding on to, and that I am now learning to really release and surrender. And to, the phrase that's coming to mind right now is go with God. As someone who does not identify as a Christian, that came to mind, right? But go with the universe, go with source, go with what I know. And what I know is that I have permission to feel what I'm feeling. And if when I come live and I talk about my business, I feel incredible, and you can see it, like, look in my face when I feel amazing and I love what I do and I get to speak about what I do, I change people's lives. Right? That's what I do. People begin working with me, and there's a little bit of hesitation, there's a little bit of fear, there's a little bit of, I know you're going to spiritually spank me all upside down and backwards, but they're so willing. And it's like an onion layer, right? It's like an onion, we're peeling back the layers. And so I had a message from someone today, and he was saying, I understand what you do, and I understand where my mindset is. And I also understand that I'm not ready. And he just volunteered this information. And I thought, it's so good. It's so good when you know that. And we can go gentle, right? We can peel back one layer, and then you come back and we peel back another layer. And maybe when you begin working with me, we focus on your business, and then we focus on your body, right? Whatever it might be. So I love reminding everyone and myself that if you are not living in the body, the bank account, the confidence, the conviction, the relationships, the career, the business that you really, really desire, then there is something going on between your mindset and your heart set. And the way that the brain and the heart speaks to the brain and the head just has some discoherence with one another. There's a kink in the system. And that's really what I help my clients do. I help you to uncover that kink, to clear it out, to allow life to flow. That's what it's about. And so, how do you be okay when life isn't exactly okay? Gift yourself the ability to be human. I hope, if nothing else, you hear that from me right now. We've got into this world of very fast action, very fast motion, and looking for deliverables, looking for the tangibles. And that's incredible. And it happens, we get the tangibles, we get the manifestations that we have out in the world because of what's going on inside, because of what we think and how we feel. That's how you get manifestations. We tend to think that manifestation is like, I'm manifesting a dream home, or I'm manifesting a dream career, whatever it might be. But truly, you're manifesting all the time. You've manifested exactly where you are. You've manifested the body that you're in right now, right? Et cetera, et cetera. So I've got about 3 minutes. I'm going to hop into my noon session, but I kind of want to talk about this because it's coming up. Speaking about vibrations and energy, there is energies that's in the universe. Again, just like the weather, it is. And when you're aware of them, when you're conscious of them, you learn how to leverage them. You learn how to understand them. And yesterday was the Ace of Spades. So if you're catching me live or you're catching me on the replay today is March 10th, 2022. Yesterday energetically carried the contract energy of the Ace of Spades. And that is, it's the ending, it's the unfolding. It's where the veil is the most open between the physical and the spiritual. It's between seeing the tangible manifestations in the world and knowing that you have the ability to have anything that you desire. You don't have to have the proof right now. You just have to hold on to the belief that you are source, that you are God, that you are part of the infinite, the all. From nothing came something, and that something is the all, and that is you. When we perceive ourselves as needing to get something or wanting something that we don't yet have, we are out of alignment and out of alignment with yourself. The Ace of Spades is one of the largest karmic energies that I carry in my soul. It's part of my DNA contract, my soul contract. And I smile because, oh my God, have I been working through this? And I have been anticipating March 9th, 2022 for a really long time. Because knowing that the Ace of Spades, when it is paired with my Two of Clubs contract, it is terrified of endings. It is terrified of death. It is terrified of all of the things that I could accidentally say that might upset someone else, just to name a few. And so when I know this about myself and I know that I carry this contract energy, I was able to utilize this energy. I was able to leverage it yesterday. I was able to do more meditations than I normally do, knowing that it was less about doing and it was more about being, yesterday in particular, so that I was then setting myself up for today's energy. So just for yourself right now, think of yesterday's energy and how you felt. There might have been a whole lot of giving meaning outside of yourself, looking for some strategies outside of yourself, allowing for a lot of overwhelm and fear to take over. That's the energy of the Ace of Spades. It can be this, I'm never like this, don't, I'm never going to get it, right? I dream too big and I need to rein it in kind of thing. This fear of the unknown. That's if you're picking up the lower end of the frequency. On the higher end is just trusting and knowing and holding on to this little seed of belief that somewhere deep inside you, you have everything that you could ever need in this world. You already possess it. And so we step in today's energy. It's March 10th, 2022. And today is the King of Diamonds. It's the tangible results. The diamond shows us what we're valuing. And so it's always within. Value yourself within. And it is showing you today more than ever, write down everything you really desire. Everything. And if you're less of a kinesthetic kind of person, you're more of a visual person like I am, you could go into a meditation and just allow yourself to feel into it. I teach something called quantum expansion, which is the way that energy moves from our heart. And so if you know quantum expansion, you could do that as you feel into these physical things you're wanting to manifest, you're wanting to create in your life, and you hold on to that. And that's the energy of today. So I just share that because it just goes in line with this live. How do you be okay when you're not okay? You don't fake it. You can't fake vibration. You allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling negatively. Literally set an alarm and let yourself be it. Go somewhere, place everything on hold, because when you do that, you tell yourself you are worth more than the workload. You are worth more than the laundry. You are worth more than whatever it is you might be doing instead. You feel the feelings that you are feeling, and then you consciously choose, because that is our superpower as a human, is that we get to choose our emotions. We're conscious that we're conscious, and we get to choose what we want to feel. You are not your feelings. You are not your emotions. You are so much greater than that. You get to choose what you want to feel. All right, everyone, I'm officially right at the hour, so I'm going to hop into my next session. I love you all. Erica, you are so welcome. And I'm going to drop the link. I'm going to drop the link here in the comment box. If you're being pulled to work with me, I do have my next teaching. We start the first week of May. We start the first week of May, but we really start right now. And I can explain what that means. So yeah, feels right. I'll drop the link and I will see you all soon. Have an amazing day. Enjoy this king energy. It's power, mastery.